Alright, so I'm live. So right now I'm gonna show you guys how I break down game, how I first and foremost, I've always wanted to sell this. Like, I don't want to give it out for free, but because I put in the work with the reading and shit, and reading's hard. So I'm gonna show you guys a little example of what I'm gonna be selling. I'm gonna be selling game, breaking down game, and it's like pretty much consider this school, consider this a class right now, a real class, a real deep introspective class that nobody's doing because I ain't jacking off, lusting, and gossiping and spending money on bullshit. I'm just investing in myself, like what a lot of people can't do out here, searching for females, searching for boyfriends, like loser ass bitches. So starts like this. So I'm gonna go on my Audible right now. On my Audible is all these books that I read, and this is just some of the books I've read right here. They're all read. They're all read right now. My latest two books right here is Belichick and Showboat. Um, Approximately almost done with Showboat. I got like 6 more hours left. It's a pretty long book, but I'm gonna break down some of this game right here. All right. How a Hustler breaks down game. How a Hustler breaks down game is the title of this video. How a hustler, a real hustler, breaks down game. Cause ain't nobody breaking down game. Like ain't nobody doing this for you guys. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's doing this. I could repeat this so much without feeling stupid because I know nobody's doing this. Like, I know nobody's doing this shit. So it is what it is.
In Southern California, the 22-year-old Bryant and his 18-year-old bride selected the secluded St. Edward the Confessor Catholic Church in Dana Point, an hour south of L.A., for their wedding on April 18th. There were a dozen guests, none of them teammates, and there were no members of his immediate family in attendance. He wore a black suit. Italy became the most comprehensive basketball school. Italy became the most comprehensive basketball school one could imagine. I started playing basketball over there, he said, which was great, because I learned fundamentals first. I think most kids who grow up in America learn all the fancy dribbling. Italy became a team bus with the old man. Each pro team also had its...
Usually I read this at 1.75 speed. I know you guys ain't on that level, so I'll tone it down to 1.25.
Youth team. And playing on the youth team and going to practices with his father rapidly built the base of his understanding of the game. In retrospect, his time in Italy became the most comprehensive basketball school one could imagine. I started playing basketball over there, he said, which was great, because I learned fundamentals first. I think most fun game.
Alright, right there. So Kobe Bryant, why is he the best basketball player in the world? Because as a basketball player, he learned fundamentals in Italy first, rather than learning ghetto street ball. So it's like he learned the alphabet first before he started writing, you know?
In retrospect, his time in Italy became the most comprehensive basketball school one could imagine. I started playing basketball over there, he said, which was great, because I learned fundamentals first. I think most kids who grow up in America learn all the fancy dribbling. In Italy, they teach you true fundamentals and leave out all the nonsense.
So that's why Kobe Bryant is a great. That's one of many examples.
One game, Kobe's team scored 22 points, he recalled. It was in those first years in Italy that the Bryants saw their son's future and helped him toward it. They have mini baskets for 7-year-olds, Joe explained at the time. One game, Kobe's team scored 22 points, and he had 16. They moved him up to play with 10-year-olds, and he dominated there, too. He has a yellow belt in karate, and he took ballet lessons, too.
Ballet lessons. Kobe Bryant. And if you know about Kobe, you know Kobe had brilliant footwork. You'd be like, man, how do you learn this footwork? How do you learn like, no, how did he learn how to, do all the footwork? Hold on. Kobe Bryant learned ballet, which helped him master his footwork. So you'd be thinking like, oh my god, like how does Kobe learn how to do it? How many times did he practice? But the thing is like you needed to read this book or dig into his life to understand. Like, dude, this guy learned ballet. This guy learned ballet. If he would not have learned ballet, he would not be Kobe Bryant.
Family time. As strangers in a strange land, the Bryant children and their parents learned what it meant to depend on one another. Numbers collected to force a soccer quorum. Nature that Kobe shared with his mother, spurred along by his desire to shoot alone and work on his game. When a few Italian children would show up to play, Bryant would share the goal with them until larger numbers collected to force a soccer quorum, at which point he would finally have to agree to play soccer, his tall, thin frame lending itself well to playing in goal.
If you know Kobe Bryant, you know he's really invested into soccer. He likes soccer, especially on the Europe. If you know about Kobe Bryant, he likes soccer, but check this out.
Others would later recall that he also showed great promise as a striker, which reflected both his footwork and dribbling. The game was fun, and the experience would make him a lifelong fan.
So there it is. He was really natural at playing soccer. He had good footwork off the get-go because he learned ballet, and they said right here that he was a good striker, which is like, pretty much like a, the forward position in a soccer team. And yeah, Kobe. Italy. So he would be playing basketball, and then Italy was a football dominated sport. So then once the kids took over the basketball court, they played football. Kobe had to let the kids take over, play soccer. So he was forced to play soccer because the Italian kids dominated the basketball court to play soccer.
Play soccer is tall. Bryant always seemed to be gone from class, taken away by the long weekends playing. My sister goddesses of inspiration, right? She told a radio interviewer. Yeah, he wasn't even calling me a muse when he was in high school, but we had a good relationship. Bryant always seemed to be gone from class, taken away by the long weekends playing on one elite team or another, but he always returned to school with his assignments done, which earned Mastriano's hard-won respect.
Right there.
He was remarkably...
Kobe Bryant did his homework. He finished his homework. He finished his test. He read the chapters, read the books. He completed his homework assignments. Never ever sleep on homework assignments. Never ever think you're too cool to do that. Never ever think you're too fly. I don't give a fuck how cute you are, how ugly you are, how smart you are. You're never too cool to finish your homework.
Disciplined in high school, she recalled. The discipline was Pam Bryant's work, family friends said. She insisted on it as part of her effort to control her son's rapidly changing environment. Even though Bryant's focus on his schoolwork didn't approach them.
So that's how Kobe was maintained. That's how he was disciplined. His mom forced him to do his homework. That was the only way to keep a child tame from smoking weed, from doing all this shit with bitches, and from being the cool kid, from any little stupid thing a teenager can do. That's how Kobe Bryant became Kobe Bryant.
Mental effort he directed toward basketball. Mastriano also sensed his sizable hunger for gaining all sorts of knowledge. He sees learning as empowering. He listens very intently, she offered in 2014. Could you imagine what the world would look like if everybody lived that way?
Imagine.
Mastriano would grade.
Imagine all these kids not doing their homework and not doing this and that. If a lot of people do that, you'll have people. That's how you start believing in the flat Earth, because you don't do your fucking homework. You believe the Earth is flat because you don't pay attention in science class.
Bryant always seemed to be gone from class, taken away by the long weekends playing on one elite team or another. But he always returned to school with his assignments done, being a pro ball player. Bryant had long shown an affinity for writing, for poetry, that delighted Big Joe, who had been amazed over the years by the things his grandson would present to him. He's right about basketball, she said. He'd always talk about being a pro ball player. Bryant had long shown an affinity for writing, for poetry, that delighted Big Joe, who had been amazed over the years by the things his grandson would present to him. Big Joe had long raised the issue that Kobe was so talented in other pursuits, he might want to think about being something other than a basketball player.
So, off the get-go, Kobe Bryant over there in Italy, I feel like he was really distracted by the whole America bullshit and being all egotistic and like trying to be cool, that he was in Italy like looking inward. He was looking inward, and he was a poet. He was into art. Later in the book, if you know about Kobe, he started rapping, and he'll write lyrics, but he wouldn't talk about guns and violence because he knew he wasn't about that.
Artists would eventually grow into a major recording deal with Sony Music, bringing with it a whole new round of influence that would change the lives of the Bryants forever. They named the group Cheesaw, an acronym for Tone and started playing the box and won. They tried not to, but it was kind of hard when you're trying to win because everything's about winning. I'll give Kobe credit. He didn't give a fuck about winning. He cared only about his own personal get the ball to
This is why Kobe's
Then opponent started playing the box and won. They tried not to, but it was kind of hard when you're trying to win because everything's about winning. I'll give Kobe credit. He didn't give a fuck about winning. He cared only about his own personal progress, his own personal accomplishments. Not that he was counting points, but he was definitely aware of how he played. He tested everybody, and that was him. He finally bought into the passing and cutting, playing without the ball, because he knew he was going to get the ball back. Bryant's selfishness, frankly, was something to behold, Ryans recalled. It was at another level, but I had to respect him because he produced. Staying with the process took an effort on the part of the Bryants.
So right there, Kobe was selfish naturally because he was confident in himself. As you can see, he'll pass the ball, he'll make a cut because he knew he'll get the ball back, either because he knew he was making a good cut or his teammates felt his confidence and was like, "Hey man, give the man the ball. He's gonna help us win." Then this is shit you gotta read. You gotta fucking read.
It would seem a wasteland for trying to live a life. Some close observers would look at Bryant's youthful pursuit and think that in many ways he had no life. Ryans wondered about both that and Bryant's levels of seemingly inexplicable anger. The source of it, the coach concluded, was him trying to be great and him having a vision versus somebody else seeing something that could help him. Such an answer would seem ludicrous. Enter would ask about Bryant's life outside basketball in his early years with the Lakers, and he would reply, "Basketball. There is nothing else." To others not driven to...
So Kobe Bryant was a slave to basketball. That's all he did, and that's why he became a great. He wasn't like Lamar Odom, and it's funny because like you would think, oh, Lamar Odom, they have a history, long time, but it's not like Lamar Odom. Like look at him, look at other basketball players. Kobe Bryant had no life. That's all he did.
Find perfection in a pursuit. Such an answer would seem ludicrous, and such an approach would seem a wasteland for trying to live a life. Some close observers would look at Bryant's youthful pursuit and think that in many ways he had no life. Ryans wondered about both that and Bryant's levels of seemingly inexplicable anger.
This is just some of the game I'm trying to sell.
The coach.
You guys don't even know. You guys can't even grasp what it takes to do this. You guys can't even do this. You guys can't even do this. Like, you guys can't read. You guys can't listen. You guys can't pay attention. You guys can't break down game. Like, you guys can't do that. You know what I mean? You guys can't do that. You guys can't break down game. Like, you guys just can't do that. And I'm very confident that you guys can't do that. I'm very happy that you guys can't do that. And I really like that a lot of society is starting not to do that. I really like it. It's making it easier for me. It's gonna be like like breakfast, man. Eat your breakfast. You guys are gonna be seafood. You guys are gonna be crab meat. You guys are all done for. Society's going down. You guys can't break down game. You guys can't do any of this. If you guys had if your life depended on it, your guys' head hurt after a chapter. After this, I'm gonna keep reading and doing this. You guys can't even do that. You guys can't do that on God. You guys can't do that. You guys can't do that at all. At all. You guys cannot do that. You guys can't. I bet you guys can't. This is just a little bit of the game I want to show you guys. Kobe Bryant's great. I read so many things about Jeff Bezos, Phil Knight, Hitler, Rockefeller, Trump. I read a bunch of people who mastered their areas, and I'm just trying to, I want to help you guys, and by helping you guys, I gotta help myself. You guys can't do any of this if you guys wanted to. You guys cannot do any of this if you guys wanted to. At all.